Red Dead Redemption 2 is a technical and visual marvel. Released back in October 2018, now 5 years old, this game holds up remarkably well. Think of Rockstar games however you want. A lot of people simply think money-hungry corporation trying to sell shark cards through GTA 5, milking GTA 5 for 3 generations of consoles until the release of GTA 6, only to repeat that again when the game comes out in 2025. Regardless of what your opinion is, you cannot deny that they are masters of their craft and genre of gaming. There is no other studio that develops a massive open world that feels full of life quite like them. Each and every single entry that they release feels like a big event, and that was Red Dead Redemption 2 for me. Following its predecessor with the original Red Dead Redemption releasing back in May of 2010, anticipation for a second game in the series was always there. The original game had such an intriguing character in John Marston, a badass outlaw trying to redeem himself from his former criminal lifestyle, being used by the federal government to hunt down his former gang members, and simply wanting to settle down with his wife and kid in his ranch at Beecher's Hope. Throughout the story of this game, there were always seeds planted for a second game. As the player, you wanted to know more about John's past life. We only got a few details based on character interactions and dialogue, but it wasn't fully explored. 6 years later, we ended up getting the reveal trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2 in October of 2016. This was insane. I don't recall there being any rumors or speculation about a reveal, and pardon my language, but I was fucking excited. I really didn't think at the time that Red Dead Redemption 2 would ever be a reality, but there it was, the confirmation that I always wanted. Now we just had to wait for fall of 2017, or so we thought. According to Wikipedia, Red Dead Redemption 2 was delayed 3 different times until its actual release date in October of 2018. This is something I can appreciate any developer doing to further polish their game until they are 100% confident that their product is finished and ready to be released for the consumer. What I don't like is these companies demanding extensive hours of labor from their developers. The culture of crunch in gaming is very well known, and it's been documented that this was the case during RDR 2's development, and because of it, Rockstar underwent media scrutiny. That's an entirely different conversation though, for a different day and a different video, but I still found it important to mention. Now back to the reveal trailer. This trailer left a lot of people excited. It created tons of buzz and questions. Was this a sequel to the original Red Dead Redemption, following a new story with Jack Marston after John's death? Perhaps a prequel prior to the events of the original game. Maybe it was its own standalone story following an entirely new protagonist. It really could have been any of these options. It was up in the air. So I did not remember this, but we did not get a second trailer for this long anticipated game until 1 year after the initial reveal. That's crazy to me. Now with trailer number 2, we pretty much got confirmation on what this game was going to be, and that was in fact a prequel to the original game. As this trailer revealed characters that we had seen in RDR, such as Dutch Vanderland and Bill Williamson. Still no John Marston though. At this point, it was pretty much apparent that we were not going to be following the story from John Marston's perspective, but instead this new prominent character, Arthur Morgan, that has been focused on for both trailers thus far. In this same trailer, you can see that they had delayed the game from fall of 2017 to spring of 2018. We finally got the third and final trailer 8 months later. This trailer gave us a look at John Marston at last. I like how they put a lot of emphasis on Arthur Morgan within these trailers. They did not take the easy route by plastering John all over the marketing, which is the safe route to take, and it's a very good way to let everyone know that this is Arthur's story. Besides John, we also saw other characters from the original game, such as Javier Escuela and Agent Ross. At the end of this trailer, we had a definitive exact release date of October 26, 2018. Now, some may be asking, why are you talking about these trailers so much and have yet to talk about the actual game itself? Well, I have a very simple answer to that. I absolutely love this game. That's your answer. Red Dead Redemption 2 is easily in my top 3 favorites of all time. I recently replayed it last fall, and it's lived rent-free in my head for months. I can never get enough of video essays regarding this title. Red Dead Redemption 2 content on YouTube has been like a drug to me, and I really just want to show how much this game means to me. To put it into perspective, I took a week off of work at the job I was working in at the time simply to play this gem of a video game. I in fact finished the main story within this week. It was also the last time I remember going to a midnight release at GameStop. Everyone there was at my local GameStop for Red Dead Redemption 2. There is something about moments such as that are magical. A group of people, a group of gamers just excited to play a new entry in a series they love dearly. We don't really have that anymore because of digital media being more prominent than ever. Now you just buy the digital copy, and sure, you can discuss the game on Twitter, X, or Reddit, for example, but it's not the same thing as it is in person. Enough about all that sappy and corny stuff now, let's actually talk about the game itself. Listen, I'm not going to be going into full detail regarding the story of Red Dead Redemption 2. I would be doing you a disservice, actually, by doing so. Instead, I encourage everyone who has yet to play this game to go experience it themselves instead. It's that damn good. I will simply be giving you a quick synopsis of the story, and that is it. The story of Red Dead Redemption 2 follows the protagonist of Arthur Morgan. We all remember Dutch van der Linde. Arthur is pretty much the right-hand man of Dutch. He is the enforcer, he is the big brother of the group. If there is someone that Dutch can trust and depend on, it is Arthur. In a land where the world of gunslingers is becoming a myth and a thing of the past, Dutch doesn't want to let go of that way of life. His main value was freedom and free will. And the way he goes about that is through a life of crime. He doesn't want the government to have a say in what they do or how they live their lives. He doesn't want corporate exploitation where the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Dutch was there with his best friend Hosea for the golden years of the Wild West. It's what he is comfortable with. It's what he knows. He starts to realize, though, that no matter what they do, their way of living is becoming unrealistic the more time goes on. Dutch is a very charismatic figure for everyone who is part of the van der Linde gang. From the way he dresses too, he is very distinct compared to the other members, seeing himself as a higher figure and someone these people should follow and trust. And that they do. With his charisma and usage of words, it's hard not to stop what you're doing and listen to every word Dutch spews, even as the player, when Dutch is on screen. I commend Rockstar on how much they polished Dutch's character in this game, given that we barely saw him in the original Red Dead Redemption. But anyway, this story is Arthur's redemption. Throughout the game, you will witness Dutch commit questionable acts. Arthur and other members of the group are unsure if they can even trust Dutch anymore. They question if what they are doing is the right thing as Dutch goes off the deep end further and further throughout the game. Arthur wants to stick with Dutch more than anything. Loyalty is one of the few things he believes in. He wants to believe that his father figure isn't just going insane, that what he is doing is for everyone's sake and not just selfish acts. There are major events that led to the downfall of the gang, from the Snake Micah Bell joining the gang and slowly replacing Arthur as Dutch's right hand and getting in his head, to Hosea's death, conflict with the O'Driscolls, the Pinkerton Detective Agency going after them and trying to take him down, the Braithwaite and Gray families, the Native Americans, Leviticus Cornwall, Angelo Bronte, lies about John's death, wanting to leave John in prison. This all eventually builds up. Arthur comes to an early realization that things have changed, and with the given time that he has left due to his tuberculosis, he tries to undo all his wrongs. He moves forward with making better choices. He's looking for redemption. He wants to save John and his wife so that they can give Jack a different life than what Arthur and John grew up with, and anyone else in the gang before things blow up. The ending of this game gets me every time. Rockstar really makes you sympathize with Arthur's character from the day he met Dutch to the moment he took his last breath. He was loyal to Dutch. He would do anything and everything for his father figure, but that same man switched up into an unrecognizable monster, slowly turning into a cold killer. It's this scene right here when Dutch realizes where he went wrong. He is witnessing his own son dying before him. You can sense that he is disappointed in what he has turned into, the choices he made along the way and the outcome at the end. Dutch ends up walking away from both Micah and Arthur. Arthur and Micah are the two different sides of Dutch. His old self in Arthur dies, and his newfound self in Micah continues living on. Yin and yang, black and white, two sides of the same coin. And with that, Arthur drags himself to the other side of the mountain to take his final breaths and watch the sunrise. This entire sequence is beautiful and some of the best storytelling I've experienced in gaming ever. I wish I could replay this game for the first time all over again, to be quite honest. In the epilogue, John Marston takes over as the main character. Honestly, this epilogue isn't too exciting, so I'm going to keep it brief. I understand that the game probably needed to tone it down a little bit after the climax that we had reached. But to sum it all up, John is simply trying to start a new life with his family. He's trying to stay undercover by going under a different name. He wants to get away from anything and everything regarding his old gang and crimes. He starts working in a ranch, trying to make some money, eventually builds his own ranch in Beecher's Hope, and along the way reunites with Uncle, Sadie Adler, and Charles Smith. These are three different characters I had not previously mentioned, but played a key role in the main story. Well, not Uncle, but more so Sadie and Charles. This right here is where the epilogue gets real good. At the end of it, John, Sadie, and Charles end up finding out that Micah has been lurking around in the nearby area. All of them wanting revenge for what he did, want to exterminate the rat that had infiltrated the gang and killed it from within. This turns into an epic shootout up the icy mountain. At the top is Micah, and after an exchange of words, Dutch reveals himself to be there along with him inside of a cabin. At this point, John is pleading with Dutch, trying to understand why things turned the way that they did, trying to get him to do the right thing while also trying to save Sadie's life. And Dutch ends up shooting Micah, putting an end to the rat himself. Everything taking place in the epilogue ends up becoming a setup for Red Dead Redemption. In the credits, you can see Agent Ross eyeing John's ranch as he gets ready to use John to go after Bill, Javier, and Dutch, putting an end to his former gang members in exchange for freedom. Now that we're done talking about the story and kind of giving you a synopsis of the story, we're going to be talking about the visuals, performance, music, and audio of Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm not going to spend too much time here. I'm just going to briefly go over it. But the visuals of Red Dead Redemption 2 are just stunning. Graphically, the game will hold up for years to come. This game is going to age like fine wine even 30 years from now. It's that good, and you can tell the amount of love and effort that was put into it. Not only the visuals, but also the mechanics and performance. This game runs great, and the amount of detail they added enhances the experience tremendously. From having to clean your gun, having to feed or brush your horse, these are all little details they did not have to add, but they did anyway. Some may not deem it necessary, but it doesn't ruin the experience. The music in this game is better than the first game. There are only a few tracks that I remember from Red Dead Redemption, but Red Dead Redemption 2's are definitely more memorable. Also, voice acting is 10 out of 10. Kudos to everyone who voice acted in this game. They did a fantastic job in bringing the characters alive. So here's the final verdict. All in all, if you have not played this game, do yourself a favor and do so. It is a modern day masterpiece. Take your time with it. Even after the main story, there are so many other things to do to collect. Fishing, hunting, stranger missions, cigarette cards, Easter eggs, mysterious lore, random encounters. This only makes me excited for the next Red Dead Redemption game, if we even get a new one. I think we're still quite a number of years until that day, especially with GTA 6 on the horizon. The speculation and rumors, though, still makes me excited for what's to come in the Red Dead universe.
The many miles we walk, the many things we learn, the building of a shrine, only just to burn. That's the way it is. That's the way it is.
son. It's a hell of a thing.
Our time is pretty much past. May the wind be at your back. Good fortune touch your hand. May the cards lay out astray, all from your command. That's the way it is. That's the way it is.
You saved my life. You're a good man. Thank you, Bella. You know, there ain't enough kindness in this world, that's for sure.
Maybe it's a sign, Arthur. Try to do the good thing.